Lovers and the Dreamers by Elizabeth Scarhart. Illustrated by the Mayor of Halia. Narrated by Elizabeth Scarhart. Chapter 10. A Brighter Future. Pat felt warmth. It was not the burning heat of the core or the explosion. It was a loving, happy warmth. It was the warmth of every meal Muffet had made for him. It was the warmth of his trusty hoodie and his soft bed and his favorite seat on the couch. It was the warmth of his brother's hugs. It was the warmth of everything that made life worthwhile. As the warmth faded, Papyrus opened his eyes. He found himself in a big empty room, his head on his brother's lap. Dream pulled his hands away, smiling.
There! That should do it! How are you feeling?
Ink asked as Sans helped Papyrus stand up. Better than I have in a long time, actually, Papyrus admitted. Kinda surprised I survived that heat, though.
You're just lucky Dream is also a healer.
Ink smiled. Sans hugged his brother from the side.
I'm so glad you're back. I was so worried.
Papyrus put his arm around Sans and pulled him closer. Yeah. I'm sorry, Sans. I shouldn't have pushed you away.
I'm not mad, Pappy. And I promise the three of us will find a way to make this marriage work without breaking us apart.
Papyrus nodded. That wasn't all, though. I guess I owe you some answers about the nightmares. Sans shook his head, which surprised Papyrus.
You don't have to tell me anything. I know you like your privacy.
Sans said.
But if you ever see Nightmare again...
Papyrus nodded. I'll let you know so you can alert Ink. I'm sorry, Sans. The next few months were busy. After a few days of letting Papyrus catch up on his sleep, the three got together at Muffet's to discuss how this would work out. Ink had no strong feelings about living in his pocket, but there was the issue of him needing to monitor the multiverse and move from universe to universe quickly, and he had to be in either the anti-void or his pocket to do that without using extra power. The solution they eventually came up with was the Creative Room, a special guest room made to help Ink when he was low on power. Ink would create a door in the Creative Room that would lead to the pocket, specifically the paper room he used to keep track of everything. From there, Ink would move into the Skelebros' home, sleeping in the Creative Room until the marriage gave him access to Sans' bed. The rest of the pocket would be used as a safe house during interdimensional emergencies. With a solid plan in place, the three set to work. The door was painted into the wall next to the wardrobe. It took nearly all of Ink's power to make it connect to his pocket, and the resulting fever took a few days to get over. While he rested, he and Sans chose wedding colors and designed the invitations to help further his recovery. Muffet also came by wanting to help. Upon hearing the nature of Ink's illness, she worked with the two to design their wedding cake, which she of course would bake. Once Ink recovered, the two got to work on the guest list, the locations, the food, and the small details that went into planning a wedding. For the most part, everything went off without a hitch, though there was a weird moment when a skeleton, wearing about every color you could imagine, came in and said he would be
totally down with laying some rat-tastic beats at the party.
It took Ink some time to convince the skeleton that they had already gotten Napstabot to DJ the wedding reception. At last the big day came. Everyone was at MPBT Resort. The wedding would be at the chapel there, with the reception in the dining hall. Both were decorated in silver and blue, and guests were already seated. Sans was in the dressing room with Papyrus, who was, of course, his best man. He stood in front of the mirror as Pap helped him with his tuxedo. He eyed the taller skeleton thoughtfully.
You sure you're okay with us going through with this, brother?
Well, it's a little late to turn back now,
Papyrus joked.
Besides, I worked to get you two into a relationship, didn't I? Obviously, I'm okay with this being the end result.
Pappy, you know what I mean.
Sans persisted.
Are you okay with the arrangement? You don't feel like Ink's stealing me away anymore?
I wouldn't have agreed to it if I wasn't. Not after all I went through,
Pap replied. Sans nodded as Papyrus stood. Sans looked very mature in his outfit. He never realized just how childish his battle body made him look. Maybe he should consider updating it? Nah, he loved his battle body just the way it was. Papyrus adjusted his own bow tie.
Almost time. You nervous?
Me? Nervous? Never.
Sans declared.
Especially not for such an important event.
Papyrus smiled. It looked like things weren't going to change a bit. He hugged his brother.
Love you, bro.
Sans smiled and hugged back.
I love you too, brother.
The two let go and Pap smiled.
Now, let's go grow the family.
The two left and headed to the altar, ready for a new future with Ink in their lives. Once Ink recovered, the two got to work on the guest list, the locations, the food, and the small I cannot do this paragraph. I get it. I'm nervous about suddenly breaking into Fresh, but come on. I'm better than this. I've played a four-armed psychic alien, for God's sake. Everyone was at MPBT. Everyone was at MPBT. You know, Classic had it easier.